After a competitive fight between Vasyl Lomachenko and Luke Campbell for the WBC title, Devin Haney is convinced that he has what it takes to beat Lomachenko if they were to fight. What up, fight world? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button, also subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, and the Patreon family. We working. Also sign up for ESPN Plus below. They've had some good fights on recently. Last week, I think it was, Anthony Yard stepped up versus Kovalev, good fight. And then this week, just now, they had the fight with Luke Campbell and Lomachenko for the vacant title, vacated by Mikey Garcia when he made the decision to move up to fight Errol Spence. He said he can't come back down after that loss to Spence and defend his title, so he relinquished it. And Devin Haney obviously watched it, took a break from training camp. He's fighting in September, so it's about to be September, and he weighed in on it, and I want to show you guys that on the screen. And this is what he said 1 hour ago. I could beat Lomachenko point blank, period. No more, no less. So 5'10", and he obviously watched the fight or seen highlights or something because the time frame supports that. And he says, now back to training. I'm about to fuck Abdul Olive up. That's his next opponent, where he's fighting to get the spot, the WBC spot. A lot of people thought he was gonna go fight Luke Campbell himself. And, that could have been a good fight. I told you before the fight and now, I wish that was the actual fight. I would have rather seen Devin Haney get the fight with Luke Campbell, and then, Lomachenko could fight somebody else. And then Lomachenko could fight the winner of Devin Haney versus Luke Campbell. I think that would have been great preparation for both guys. But, it didn't happen like that. Top Rank worked something out with the WBC or whatever. And that's what happened. But it was good. Lomachenko versus Luke Campbell, very good fight, very competitive. I thought the scorecards were too wide. And he said, no one believes you until you do it. So Devin Haney, he's feeling himself. And, people like Mike Coppinger also, and he retweeted it. I'd love to see Loma Haney next year. Devin, I interviewed him in January, which you'll see at the end of this video. And it was at the Broner-Pacquiao fight that I covered for you guys. Devin Haney said that he wants to fight Lomachenko. And so this is way back in January. He said, I want to fight him. And I was like, why? And you guys will watch the interview so you can see what he said. It's at the end of it. But now we're starting to see why he wanted to fight him. And I mean, I don't have much to weigh in other than that. I think it's a good fight. Devin Haney, hasn't fought anyone like a Lomachenko, but he's full of confidence, vivacious. And if he keeps he's coming off a sensational knockout versus Antonio Moran. If he keeps doing that and looking like that, then his confidence will grow. But this is what I put immediately before Devin Haney even tweeted. Look what I put, 339. Look at the timestamps, 71 likes, 19 retweets. I say, off that performance, no way is Lomachenko pound for pound number one. Muhammad Ali and the best boxer who ever lived and all the other shit people be saying. Devin Haney, look what I said. This was before Devin Haney even tweeted. Devin Haney, Gervonta Tank Davis, and Teofimo Lopez can really possibly beat Lomachenko in the near future with their youth, more power. Look, I got a retweet as I'm doing this, what a coincidence. More power, aggression. Oh, look, we get more retweets. We just working, we grinding. And I told you, I said Devin Haney, Tank, Teofimo. Listen, the bottom line is I think the jig is up. They keep saying Lomachenko's pound for pound, number one. And a lot of it is derived from what he's accomplished as an amateur. As far as a pro's a pro game. You just seen, if what I'm saying isn't true, then how come Shakur Stevenson lost to Robeisy Ramirez of Cuba, right? And Shakur Stevenson looked like a monster, stepped up and fought Christopher Diaz on a Terrence Crawford versus Amir Khan card, and he's been looking phenomenal. And Shakur Stevenson is looking good. And Robeisy Ramirez, the guy who had 2 gold medals, just like Lomachenko, just had a pro fight and lost to a guy that was 4-2, an unknown guy. He just lost his pro debut. It's different. 2 gold medals, I'm not saying it don't mean shit because it's an experience, but in the grand scheme of things, it don't mean shit. The things if anything, it gives you experience. But Deontay Wilder, he was a bronze medalist, and he beat a gold medalist in the first round, Audley Harrison, by knockout. And if he would have fought Anthony Joshua when he was undefeated, Joshua's a gold medalist, I would have picked Wilder to sleep Joshua. So how can a bronze medalist beat, or someone like Andy Ruiz? Andy Ruiz just knocked out Joshua. He didn't even go to the Olympics. I think he might have been an alternate or something, but he didn't go. You feel what I'm saying? And Joshua has a gold medal. So in the pro game, this shit is clear. It doesn't translate to this and that. And they built Lomachenko up as if he's this, unstoppable force. And I just don't see it. This whole high-tech matrix. And now, like I said, if you guys follow my page, they're making all the excuses in the world about how Lomachenko looks now. His fights are getting tougher without a doubt. If you try to tell me that his fights at lightweight, his performances have looked the same as what he did in previous divisions a couple years ago, then you're lying to yourself and lying to me. And look at what I said, 329. ESPN with the excuses. When Lomachenko is starting to look more human, now they're saying he's a natural featherweight. He has shoulder injuries, surgeries, etc. Tim Bradley said he had 4 amateur careers. Man, it's just the excuses don't stop. He's a good fighter. He says he wants to be undisputed. No one told him if he was a natural featherweight, why he move up? Fight Shakur Stevenson at featherweight. You feel what I'm saying? There were other options at featherweight. They're talking about Inouye wants to fight him at featherweight. So why'd you move up to 126, 130? You only had one belt. It's not like you became unified or undisputed in those divisions. So, why did he do it? No one told him to move up to 35. And for Bob Arum and other people to say some of the commentary that they've given is just egregious, saying he's Muhammad Ali of boxing and we've never seen this ever. That's bullshit. Floyd Mayweather is an anomaly. We've never seen some of the shit he's accomplished. Roy Jones is a freak of nature athlete, and in his prime, I don't think if him and Lomachenko were in the same weight class naturally, I don't know anyone who would have picked Lomachenko to beat Roy Jones. Luke Campbell, if you think about it, this is why new media is so impactful. I said good ass round 7. Campbell hurt Lomachenko coming in reckless. Then Loma showed heart and rallied back and hurt Campbell. But these are vulnerabilities people are seeing. Him getting knocked down by Linares, not looking as pristine versus Jose Pedraza. So the great thing about new media is I don't care. The stuff I'm saying is going to be what it is. I believe it. I really believe it, But old media, they could get mad and say stuff, but what I'm saying is really being justified, because that's why do you think people like Devin Haney they're looking at Lomachenko like food. They're not looking at him like he's unstoppable and he's what ESPN is talking about. Nobody cares about that. So you tell me whose commentary looks more on point. When ESPN putting out all this stuff, he's the Matrix and unstoppable, and then the fighters aren't looking at him like he's unstoppable, right? People in the industry, Kevin Iole from Yahoo Sports, this what he just retweeted Devin Haney saying I could beat Lomachenko. And he also tweeted this. He said, I love Lomachenko, as I said, but I think Joe Tessitore way overplays him during these fights. He's much more dominant at 130. Size is an issue for him at this weight. So look, I told you, there's no stopping this. There's no stopping this new media shit. I am like everyone else, and I think Loma is a terrific fighter. But going into this bout, I had Crawford, pound for pound, number 1, Spence at number 2, with Loma number 3. I think I had it right, And you see, they can say whatever they want, and then they come to my channel and the black channels, and say all this bullshit about black people are salty and shit. Kevin Iole is not black, and he's saying the same thing that I've been saying. So once again, you can complain, you can hate, you could try to stop the message. None of that shit will work. We run the game now. New media, we control the narrative. Loma is a good fighter. I still have questions. The people he's fought at lightweight, none of them would be my first choice. In fact, I think he shouldn't even have left 130 until he did more. There were guys like Miguel Berchelt, Machado at the time, guys who were big, punching power, showed heart, pretty rugged. Obviously, Gervonta Tank Davis, things like that. Why go up to try to be undisputed at this division where, the game is open and there's vacant belts and shit? Take a belt from Tank Davis at 130. That would have been great. Take Berchelt's belt. He's had some experience. He has They are not putting Lomachenko in with the style that has plagued him, or at least given him his loss. Orlando Salido. Loma had an excuse for not fighting Pacquiao at 140. He said he's too old, but Broner has no problem fighting Pacquiao. Keith Thurman lost to Pacquiao. So did Broner, both younger guys. And everyone else had no problem fighting Pacquiao, but Loma has this easy way out. Jose Ramirez called out Lomachenko at 140, and Lomachenko beat him in the amateurs. It's a great backstory, but you don't see ESPN pushing this. Because now I think they're starting to realize, just like I've said, just like Kevin Iole of Yahoo Sports just said, right? Lomachenko is not what he's being billed as. He's a good fighter, but he definitely has his limits, and now we're starting to see it. If Lomachenko fights top-rated, top-class people, his fights are going to continue to be harder. Period. You know, he was in there with Luke Campbell, and the crazy thing is this: Luke Campbell is not even somebody revered as the best. Like when Broner was at 35, he was probably considered the best at the division at the time. When Terrence Crawford was at 35, he was considered the best, right? When Shane Mosley was at 135, he was considered the best. I don't know anyone that really thought that Luke Campbell was the best at division. Mikey Garcia, you know, a lot of people say he was the best division. Again, these are guys Lomachenko has not fought. And obviously, and I'm not really referring to, you know, Shane Mosley and people who aren't in his generation, but I'm just saying, like, he's not fighting that caliber of lightweight. Roberto Duran, you know, historic lightweight, Shane Mosley, stuff like that. And Luke Campbell was doing very basic things, and put Lomachenko in some precarious situations, you know. He put him in some, you know, tight squeezes and made the fight. He pushed it. The scorecards, I think, were bullshit. Now, Luke Campbell had to go through some fire, and he was hurt too, but I just feel like no matter what you say, these fights are getting tougher for Lomachenko, and there's no two ways about it, no going around it. Luke Campbell wasn't even doing anything phenomenal like, you know, Amir Khan, Gary Russell Jr., Roy Jones, hand speed, Shane Mosley at lightweight power, you know, Mayweather ring IQ. He was just doing very basic boxing, trying to work himself into the fight. And it was a super competitive fight, despite what the scorecard suggested. So I see why guys are like, you see people now saying, oh man, Tank Davis can whoop Lomachenko. Just a year ago, they were saying Tank was avoiding Lomachenko. Now you have all of a sudden people saying what I've been telling you, that Tank definitely got a shot. Tank hits too hard. I've interviewed people who know him, been in the gym, spar with him, all that. He hits too hard. So if anyone think that's not a competitive fight, then you out your scalp. You know, now you see different writers and stuff like Kevin Iole, stuff he's saying, hey, yeah, Loma, I like him, he's good, but, you know, he's having some difficulty. He's not pound for pound number one. Now you have people saying what we've been saying over here on this side, the real side, new media. So I stand and I rest my case. Lomachenko is a good fighter, but the great thing about new media and what we're doing is the truth always comes out. I'm not really worried about it. I've been in the game long enough. So I'll be on the front line. I'll say my 2 cents. And then when it starts to add up and people start to catch on and see it, then, you know, I'll be remembered and revered as, you know, the guy that was on the front line and told you this stuff to begin with. I don't always get it right. I'm not perfect, but I know when I've called Lomachenko fights and they keep saying pound for pound, I had questions about that. And other people seemingly didn't. They gave credit to Lomachenko for having less than 20 fights. There's nobody else in boxing that has less than 15 fights and, you know, is getting regarded as he's the pound for pound of anything. And like I said, I just feel like Lomachenko there's chinks in the armor. When do you see people who are in their physical prime and pound for pound number one talking about going back down in weight, you know? When they said they want to go up and be undisputed. You don't hear Canelo. He's another person that gets kind of overlooked. You don't hear Canelo talking about going back down to 54. If anything, he's talking about going to 75. What the fuck? You know, he's talking about going to 75 for Kovalev. He already went to 68. It's not like he fought the best guy there, but, you know, he still fought someone. But all of a sudden, Lomachenko get here, the fights get harder, and it's like, oh, he had 4 amateur careers. His shoulder was bothering him. Oh, he's getting older. Oh, he has a lot of wear and tear. Oh, he's really a natural featherweight. Now the excuses, because it's not adding up to what they said. So like I said, what new media have been telling you guys, you see why people like Devin Haney are confident. Devin Haney's been doing this. That's why he believes, like, man, I'm motivated. I know I could beat this dude, you know. So it is what it is. It all remains to be seen. But I think Lomachenko, he's looking like food to some of the people. Like I'm not saying just anyone could beat him, but the Devin Haneys, the Gervonta Tank Davis, and Teofimo Lopez. People keep making this big to-do about Teofimo's last performance. He fought an unheralded, unknown, tall fighter. I'm not saying it's going to be easy for any of these fighters, but if they have the will, they definitely have the youth on their side. Guys like Teofimo and Devin and Tank, they all have good fundamentals. Some of them have more power than others and whatnot, ring IQ. And it looked like Lomachenko struggled with the southpaw shit a bit. You know, the fact that Campbell was a gold medalist, and he was just doing basic shit like that, like some of the, you know, European fighters. He wasn't doing no freakish, like crazy ass Keith Thurman type of footwork or Pacquiao footwork. You know, he wasn't doing nothing like that, and he was definitely in the fight. So I see why guys like Devin Haney and Tank, they're chomping at the bit. Teofimo, you know, this would reassert, you know, and give them confidence that, damn, we might be able to beat this guy. So that's my thoughts. That's Devin Haney. He's been calling them out. Let me know what you guys think. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. We working. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.